Hello.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker, aka Father Deezy, here to make everything in your life easy by giving you some tips, tools, stories, maybe just vent with you just a little bit about life. I'm a little off script today. I don't really have a general topic to talk about, but I needed to get an episode out here, so just wanted to chat with you all. You know, it's an interesting thing. I'm hopefully, God willing, doing a lot of cool things with the podcast coming up, but it takes time, it takes money, and most of all, time. I'm reminded a little bit why I got caught up in stopping the podcast for a little bit, because this actually takes a lot of my time, and it doesn't seem like it. You just kind of think you put a microphone on, you get a speaker in front of you. What's the harm? But it does take some time. You kind of plan everything out, do the editing and postings and things like that, and that's something I want to get better at, and I will get better at it. Trust me. But I'm going to be, again, consistent in me releasing recordings and episodes. And, I guess what I just wanted to say is I'm happy about the support. I know a lot of you guys listen when I drop episodes. So keep listening, keep supporting, and hey, become a patron. You give me the opportunity to do that. Well, the world's at my feet at that point. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for listening. As you can tell, again, I'm a little off script. I'm a little tired. Believe it or not, I just wrote a book. It's called My Father's Journal. For everyone who wants to read it, you can go on Amazon right now. You can check it out there. My Father's Journal. It's a story about a young woman who discovers her father's journal after he died. And within the journal, she actually gains a hope that he's still alive. And she uncovers mysteries surrounding his father's death and a corruption scandal that is intense. It's a good story. It's a beautiful story. It's about love. It's about legacy. It's about family. And again, just follows the story of this young woman named Emily Carlton, who is searching for meaning in her life. And when she discovers her father's journal, not only does she discover a new hope that he might still be alive, she discovers a profound measure of mysteries and twists and turns along the way. So please go check it out. It's available on Barnes & Noble. It's available on Amazon. My Father's Journal. Please support it. It takes, I'll tell you what, I will never write a book again. This is the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. Truthfully, I think it's right up there with being a dad, to be honest with you. You mess up one thing in a book, and I mean one thing that doesn't make sense, you have to go back and change almost everything. And that takes so much damn time. But it's a bucket list item. I wanted to knock it off the bucket list. This year is going to be kind of like a bucket list thing for me. I'm going to get a lot of things done that I've always dreamed of. Life is short, and I want to get those things done. Writing a book was one of the things that was on my mind. Luckily, the book was written a lot quicker than I thought it would. But it also took an immense amount of time, stress, and just days on end sitting at my computer, typing it all out, figuring out how to self-publish. It has been quite the thing. But I feel like writing the story, I can understand how authors get so attached to these characters, because they're kind of your babies. You created them. You created their world they're in. You created these different dynamics for them, and the scenarios and love and passions and anger that they feel. And I got really committed to this story, and almost felt like I was in the world in a sense. And There was times where the character was angry and I was angry too. I was like, oh my God, yeah. And a lot of it has inspirations from the book A Series of Unfortunate Events. There's inspirations from this TV show that I watched. It's called Undone on Amazon Prime. And that show is really just about, a woman who struggles with mental health and kind of the legacy of her family. And within writing this book, I often thought about my own mortality before writing. And if something were to happen to me, where would that leave my daughter? And I thought about that for a long time, about what questions would she have, or what would I leave her? What would she know me as? And I thought I thought of my image and who I wanted to present myself as. In this book, Emily's father has a nickname called the Good Man, and that's something that I wanted to incorporate in my own life. Be known as a good man, be known as someone who does good, who searches for the right thing to do and does it even if it doesn't benefit himself. That's the type of role model that I want to set out for my daughter. So the good man, there's undertones of my own life in there as well. I got the inspiration from this book by, just little things here and there, but mostly just thinking about what type of impact would I want to leave on my daughter when I die. And I had this journal that I had since I was like maybe 12. Like maybe 11 or 12. I had this journal that I kept. Now, I'm not a big journal writer, so I would often write in this journal on and off throughout the years. And there's journal entries from when I was 12 to 15 to 20, 23, 24, 28, and now 29. And it's just kind of funny throughout the years seeing the progressions of my life through this book. And I felt like it really told a story about who I am. And when I looked at this journal that I haven't seen maybe a year or two, I thought, man, what mysteries are embedded within this? And I thought maybe that'd make a really good story. And so I came up with this story a long time ago, and I never had the time to write it. And there came like a month or so period where I had time, and I just put pedal to the metal day after day, sitting at my computer, having really no life at all, just putting full creativity into this book. And after many revisions, this really is a passion of mine. But I will never write a book again. It is really hard, and it's not something that being an author is not something that I'm passionate about. Being a creative is, and that was something that was on my bucket list, and I did it, and I'm happy about it. The next thing on my bucket list is creating an app, and so on and so forth, and I'll talk more about that when the time comes. But yeah, I think what I want this episode to be about is legacy. Why are we here? Is it to leave something for our children? Is it to leave something for the people we love? What is our legacy? Why are we here? What is the impact of our lives? And I think that's the undertone of what I thought within this book when I was writing it. What's the impact of my life? What am I leaving behind? What will people say about me when I die? Do I care? Do I not care? Do you? What impact do you think you have on yourself? Perhaps when you die, what type of thoughts will you have about yourself on that day? Not to be morbid, but we could die at any moment. What impact do you think you've had on yourself at this very second? Listening to these words, what impact do you feel like you have on your own spirituality, on your own self? What things matter to you? Have you found things that matter? Is it your children? Is it your loved ones? Is it your spouse? Or little activities that make you happy? What impact do you feel like you're going to leave on the world? What is the legacy that you feel like you will leave behind? And when I'm thinking about these things, when I was writing this book, I felt a really profound sense of meaning. A meaning to do something that impacts not only just the people around me, but myself. I thought about what it meant to leave a legacy behind, not only for my daughter, or for maybe what naysayers or people will say, but I thought about the impact it would leave on myself. What would I think about me when I die? Or what do I think about me now? Those are some of the things that I incorporated within this story. And again, just a little plug. The story is called My Father's Journal, available on Amazon Prime, Barnes & Noble. Beautiful story. I think it's even on Apple Books as well, I believe. But I said beautiful story, but if I do say so myself, I'm very biased. But when I wrote the book and when I was thinking about my legacy, I got happy, sad, and confused all within the same time. And I'll start with happy. I got happy because there's a lot of things that I feel like I've accomplished in this world. I've had love. Created a beautiful daughter. I've had great business success. I've had great personal success with the things that I have or the things that I've gained. But then I thought the latter part of that is very monetary. My daughter is important. But that's the only thing that I can really feel happy and proud of to stand by when I leave this world. And that makes me sad. I want to do more. I want to accomplish more. And I think that's why this year is the bucket list year for me. To do things that I never really thought about doing. And all of you know what that's like. We all have things that we're procrastinating on and we're putting off. We all have that laundry that's sitting in the dryer that we haven't put away. We all have that impending car wash that really needs to happen because our car at this point is just embarrassing. The room that needs to be cleaned, the dishes that need to be put away, the tasks that need to be done, the work that needs to be finished, the homework that needs to be studied for, the kids that need to be taken care of, the peanut butter and jellies and breakfasts that we forget to feed our family or ourselves. It's work. And sometimes we put it off. We put it off because it seems like work. Because it seems like an effort. And some things that we think are enjoyable, when we sit down and actually do them, even joy is effort. And really think about that. Even sex. Some say the most enjoyable thing, it's effort. You put in work, don't you? The success you feel at work, it's work. It's effort. Writing this book is effort. Taking the time to learn how to program and code my own app is effort. Taking the time to learn how to play guitar, an enjoyable thing I can imagine, but it's effort. The joy I will feel when I put my clothes away, great. But to actually do it, effort. To do my dishes, great. My house will be clean, but it's effort. But I think the things that we believe to be fundamental to our lives require some type of effort. And that's hard for us to accept. To accept that there's work that needs to be put into our happiness, to the legacy that we want to leave behind. And how does effort relate to legacy? Well, let me leave an example. Your house right now, you might be looking at it and thinking, wow, I should really clean this. And you put it off, right? You go to work and you come home and your house is still a wreck. And as they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel peaceful. You feel anxious. Anxious that there's still work to be done. But the day that you actually do clean it, the day that actually you do clean your house, you go to work and you come home, and the legacy that you left behind, it shows. It's grand. It's beautiful. You come home to a clean house, and it impacts you in a way that makes you feel peaceful, makes you feel proud, because you put in the work and you did something that actually mattered. Writing this book, I could care less whether people hated it or loved it. What I really cared about is whether I did and the impact it left on me, because that's a part of me. It's a part of my legacy that I'm leaving behind. And that felt great. Coding this app is brutally miserable. But it's part of me. It's an idea that I have that I'm passionate about, and succeed or fail, I did it. And that is part of my legacy. My child, my little girl, someone who has lately been filled with attitude, a strong-willed personality, a fierce, strong will to her. Putting in the work to be a good father. The legacy that I leave behind with her, profound. The woman she'll become. The impact that I had from being a good father. Legacy. Legacy means, who do we want to be? Who do we want to be remembered as? And I want everyone to hear these words and think about it. Who do you want to be? Some of you may feel lost right now. I know I have many times before. Beaten, broken, disheveled. But I'll never give up. Because I know who I want to be. I want to be a survivor. I want to be a person that perseveres. I want to show my daughter that the legacy that I leave behind of her father is Donakers never give up. I never give up. We never give up. And when I vent to you and say that I have thrown in the white towel many times before with God, with my life, I think the best thing about falling is learning to pick yourself back up. That's my legacy. What's yours? When I was younger, I didn't make good choices. It's hard to tell people that you were going through a hard time. They don't care. But everyone has a past. I spoke about this before in previous episodes, but I was a kid whose parents just got divorced. I felt miserable. I felt alone. I just had my girlfriend of 4 years cheat on me, and boy, was I an angry kid. I just got out of foster care. I was broken inside. So I'd go to bars, I'd fight, I'd be rude to people. chase women and not give it a really second thought after. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of. I wasn't the man that I am now, that's for sure. And I remember it wasn't until junior year where I finally got tired of being that man. A man so full of anger. And I finally decided to let it go. And I got baptized. And the first thing that I noticed when I got baptized is right when I came back up from the water, I noticed that I didn't feel any different. And I asked my pastor, I said, Father, I have to be honest, I don't feel any particular spirit. I don't feel, I guess, the Holy Spirit, quote unquote, if you will. Did I do something wrong? And he told me the road to becoming a better person is not a light switch, it's a journey. And you have to take that journey one day, one step at a time. If the legacy that you want to be left behind on this earth is as the good man, then take steps to become that good man. And eventually you won't have to force people to see you as that. They just will. And I didn't know how impactful that statement would be to me until later. But that really meant a lot to me. You see, the road to becoming who you are isn't just a light switch. It is a journey. I couldn't tell people, hey, I got baptized, forgive me for all that I've done. I know I was an asshole to you, but let that go. Trust me, I'm a different man. Easier said than done. You can't just tell people that and have them just forget. You gotta earn that change of view. You ever been to a nice, beautiful vacation, and there's one thing that happens, just one thing, and it could be a beautiful, wonderful vacation, but that one thing that happens kind of ruins it all. Let's take Will Smith, for example. Will Smith, a person who a lot of people are thinking, what a horrible person, he slapped Chris Rock, and I'll tell you what, slapping anyone is apprehensible, it's horrible. But he has a history of being a good person, a history of it. The charismatic, kind-hearted person, the nicest person. And one day, after hearing countless and countless of attacks and pain and pain and pain, one day he just couldn't take it anymore, and he snapped. And he did something that was out of character because he was going through something. The problem is, even if you're going through something, we all have decisions and choices to make, and he made his. And it's hard to tell people, isn't it, that you were going through something? They don't understand what that's like. They understand what it's like for them, but what they saw with their eyes is someone that they don't like. And maybe it's something that they don't like about themselves, or like about you, or like about other people, but it's something that they don't like. And therefore they don't like you. Maybe they never will. The question is the legacy that you want to leave behind for others? Or perhaps is it for yourself? Who are you when it's all over? Anyways, those are just some of my thoughts. But I'm really, really tired. It's 7 a.m. here, but I pulled an all-nighter doing a whole bunch of stuff for my book, and I hope you guys can excuse me. I'm going to cut today's episode a little short. But thank you for listening, truthfully. It means the world to me. This is just a place where I can just vent and get some stuff off my chest. I've been going through a lot lately, but I'm reminded about the legacy that I want to leave behind. And what that means to me is to keep going, to never give up, and to persevere. To prove, not only to all of you, but to me, that I'm the person that I truly believe that I am. And we'll talk about more what that means at a later time. But why am I here on this earth? Maybe it's to talk to you. Maybe it's to be a dad. Or maybe it's just to leave a little bit of my legacy behind. And what does that legacy mean? I think we're going to figure it out one day. One step. One story at a time. Thank you guys for listening. Again, I am Kendall Donaker, aka Father DZ. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow. On all of the social media, it's the Single Father Podcast. Please join our Patreon account. It will be in the description of this podcast. I also put a link to the book inside this podcast as well. Check it out. It's a good book. If you really want to talk about legacy, love, family, that's the book to do it with. I'm proud of it. It's a legacy that I leave behind that I'm proud of. Right along my daughter. And hopefully I'll create some more stuff too. I want you guys to think about what you want to create. What's the legacy that you want to leave behind? What are some bucket list items that you have left unchecked? Some stuff around your house that you need to get done. Some passions that you haven't started yet. What are those things? Do they have anything to do with your legacy? Or are they just passions? And if they're passions, why haven't you done them yet? And if the answer is you've been too busy, when are you going to be free? Who do you want to be? What do you want to leave behind? Who are you when it's all said and done? What is your legacy? Think about that. I'm Father DZ, here to make everything just a little bit more easy. Next time, I'll be on script, but until next time, my friends, thank you, and thanks for letting me vent with you. Felt good. Bye-bye.